Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for a video response episode today on the channel. This one is going out to my buddies Matt and Tyrus over at The Card Story, spelled with a THA. That's for you, Tyrus, The Card Story. Really cool father and son channel. They collect Hank Aaron. They have a lot of other side collections and things which I can certainly appreciate, being someone who struggles with focus. And as is the case with so many people in this community, just really awesome people that you can tell are enjoying the hobby. I've been fortunate enough to get to know Matt and text back and forth with him a bit, and won their first contest, their first ever VR contest, and got a prize that included this multiplayer League Leaders card from 1970 Topps, featuring two Hall of Famers, Willie McCovey and Hank Aaron. And I figured it was the perfect card to put up in the background because this is a VR for their now third contest. They are growing quickly, which I love to see. And this contest, they want to see at least one or maybe a couple or a few combo cards. Obviously, cards featuring more than one player. I think really that's kind of the only restriction. I don't believe it has to be any particular sport or era, but I am going to focus on vintage baseball, because I know that's really at the heart of what Matt collects and enjoys collecting, being a Hank Aaron collector. And I have three cards to look at that I chose for the video response. One I've shown on the channel before, and in fact it resurfaced just recently in my top 100 cards shown on YouTube countdown. But I wanted to include it again here because I do think it's really just a fantastic card, and it does include, Hank Aaron, so it felt very fitting to include this in the video response. But this is the all-time home run leaders as they stood after the 1972 season. You have Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays in the 1, 2, and 3 spot. And it's kind of funny, this is sort of like a representation of, the three guys who to this day a lot of people still think are some of the best home run hitters of all time, regardless of who, may or may not have passed them in the list, and how suspicious their records may or may not be, and how tainted their numbers may or may not be. This is just a great card from the early 70s, one that I've really grown to appreciate. And I don't think you could do better than that if you wanted to pick three offensive players across the history of baseball to put on one card. So that one felt fitting. And then the other two, this VR is going to kind of be an excuse to show off two awesome cards that I have never shown on the channel to date, despite the fact that I've owned each of these for probably like longer than 10 years now. I'm going to get the first one here out of its wrapper, but these are both from the 1960s. So when I think of combo cards, I think first of 1950s and 1960s baseball. In those top sets in those two decades, they just gave us so many awesome pairings of Hall of Fame and star players, kind of candid photos and different things like that, different captions and creative titles for the cards. And I just love all of those combo cards. And I picked out two of them to share today, as I said, that I've never shown before, both from the late 60s. And the first one that we're going to look at is a Baltimore Orioles card. And it discusses their kind of pays tribute to their 1966 World Series championship. And in the same way that this leaders card that we just looked at was card number 1 on the 73 top set, card number 1 in the 67 top set is the tribute card for that World Series championship in 66. And I just love the image here. You've got Hank Bauer in the middle, flanked by the two Robinsons. Hall of Famers abound on the front of this card. I love the banner there of the champs across the bottom in bright yellow. You got the three player names in black type across the top, and you can even see some fans' faces kind of in the stands there behind the dugout. But I mean, this is to me, this is cardboard perfection when it comes to the 60s. I think this card is even cooler than the standalone card of Frank Robinson or Brooks Robinson from the 67 top set. I'd kind of rather have this one. And it's cheaper. That's the great thing about these combo cards. You can oftentimes get them for less money than, similar condition issues of the base cards of the players that are depicted on the combo cards. And so just awesome. We'll take a quick look at the back on on this just has a summary. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Feel free to pause it if you'd care to. But again, just discusses that 1966 championship season for the Orioles. Great time for that team and great era in baseball history. And, that image just really, really speaks to me. And the other thing, you can tell I bought this card a long time ago for a couple of reasons. It's the old PSA flip here with no hologram or lighthouse. But aside from that, it's a PSA 7. And I don't really, since the hobby changed kind of for better or worse a couple of years ago, I don't really dabble in the world of vintage PSA 7 cards anymore. I've sort of been priced out of that. Not priced out, but I don't choose to pay the prices that that condition card demands nowadays. But I'm glad I held on to that one. It is cool to at least, have a couple in the collection from the 60s that looked like they really spilled right out of a pack. The other one that I have, the second and final card that I've never shown before, but I'm really excited to, is a card that I'm super proud of. It is from the 68 Topps baseball set. And I've mentioned a couple times now, going through the countdown that I'm doing, that the burlap borders on 68 and that set design have really grown on me. And I've shown off now the Hank Aaron and Mickey Mantle cards, base cards that I have from that release. But I have never yet shown this one, and it's a 3-player combo. Features 3 guys who are all Hall of Famers and all in the 500 home run club. And 2 of these guys are just absolute hobby darlings. It is card number 490 in the 68 Topps set, the Superstars combo card, featuring Harmon Killebrew, Willie Mays, flashing a really awesome smile there in the middle, and then Mickey Mantle, the hobby legend himself, on the right. This is, just stunning. Like, it's my own card, and I've owned it for like a decade, and I still kind of get, speechless when it comes time to talk about it. Maybe that's why I've put it off as long as I have, or avoided showing it on the channel, because it's one of those cards that's, just so awesome that, like, you kind of struggle to find the words. This particular copy I love. I definitely am pretty pleased with my past self for picking this one out in this PSA 7, well-centered, many, many years back now. Gorgeous card. This is obviously a photograph taken at like an all-star game, most likely. Maybe the 67 all-star game. Not 100% sure on that. I can see a Cleveland Indian, it looks like, in the background here over Mays' shoulder. But, man, as far as images go, just power hitters and titans of the game, that's one of the best 3-player combos that you're ever going to see on cardboard. Maybe not quite as good as this trio of Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays, but, you got one of the same 3 anyway. And Mantle, regardless of, how you feel about the man, I think everybody can agree he is on the Mount Rushmore of the baseball card hobby. It's one of the biggest names in the history of the hobby. And I could just go on and on about this card. We'll take a look at the back, which just kind of gets into the trio that's pictured on the front, which at the time of this card's release, which, other than Mantle, who is, certainly in the sunset of his career here, the other 2 guys went on to play for quite a few years beyond this. And, already this trio had a combined 1,462 home runs at the end of the 67 season. So just a tremendous amount of power on this one card. Love the photograph. And to me, it's one, I don't see this one all that often. I don't know, maybe it may just be the channels I happen to watch or pure coincidence, but in all of the combo cards that I frequently see featured, around the YouTube community, I feel like I don't see this particular 68 all that often. So pretty pumped with that. And that is going to wrap up my VR. Despite my gabbing, we'll keep this at under 10 minutes, which I'm amazed by. But happy to show a little bit of support to you guys, Matt and Tyrus. Keep up the awesome work. I know it's like you're on the verge of another giveaway already, I think, because your channel is growing so fast, and it's well-deserved, and I'm honored to have met the 2 of you, and look forward to many years of enjoying the hobby as friends together moving forward. So thanks again, guys, for throwing this VR out there, and to anyone who is not subscribed to the channel, there's plenty of time to get in on this giveaway still. And just in general, highly recommend getting to know the guys over at The Card Story. I will leave a link below in case you are interested. And thanks again for stopping by to spend a little bit of your valuable time here on my channel. This I sure do appreciate it, and I'll be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Till then, take care and keep enjoying the hobby.